we're going to talk about these two bad boys here. I finally finished them and I thought it would be good to do a little bit of a review for both of them. I won't do spoilers for them, but I'll try and tell you as much as I can about the book so you can make up your mind basically if you want to read them or not. So without further ado, let's get into it. So let's start with the one I read first, which is Noelle Ihli's Forget You Saw Her. This is actually the prequel to Ask for Andrea. And before we dive into this, I'll tell you about Ask for Andrea. So Ask for Andrea actually follows three women, all ghosts, who were unfortunately killed by the same man who's masquerading as an online bachelor. So that's his MO, that's how he gets his victims. He goes on a dating app, chats to a few of them, invites them round or takes them somewhere and then unfortunately kills them. These three women unite in death to try and stop the next woman from becoming the next victim of this man. So that's essentially book number one. In Forget You Saw Her, this one follows Sabina, who actually gave up her daughter when she was 17 years old, and you guessed it, her daughter is Andrea. Ever since she's put her up for adoption, she's felt guilty, but then she goes on with her life and she's now an adult. She actually receives a letter from the police saying that they've got a missing person on their hands, and that missing person is Andrea. She goes to where she was last seen, where she's lived all of her life, and she starts investigating things herself. She actually goes to meet Andrea's parents, Bunny and Dennis, and this story also kind of goes off of the whole notion that a mother's instincts is so strong that immediately she thinks something's not quite right here, something's gone wrong. And to top it all off, she's got this nagging feeling, actually maybe not nagging, this feeling that her daughter is actually guiding her through the entire investigation, her own investigation, to try and find out what actually happened to her. Unfortunately, things aren't that easy because someone is watching Sabina's every move and is making it difficult for her to actually find out what happened to her daughter. And that person will do whatever it takes to make sure that the truth about Andrea stays buried. So in this book, you have multiple POVs. It's told really, really well in Sabina's point of view and Andrea's point of view. You also get the timelines going back and forth, and it's really easy to follow from like the past to when Andrea was living, you know, with Dennis and Bunny, and then also Sabina's past of before she was living with Andrea, caring for her before she eventually gives her up for adoption. The main characters are really strong. The side characters are quite strong as well in a way. They're good supporting characters. There's a strong villain in this one, and you find out more, and I'm not going to spoil it. But there's also the paranormal aspect of it, that if you like that sort of thing, so if you like ghosts and creepy stuff, then you might enjoy this book and Ask for Andrea as well. I wasn't quite keen too much on the paranormal side. There was a few occasions in this book where I thought, I'm not really sure about that, which is probably why I rated it 4 stars instead of 5. The story is gripping enough. The mystery of what happens to Andrea is actually told quite early on in the book, but the rest of the book is investigation, this frantic process of trying to figure it all out so Sabina can figure it out herself. The only other thing to mention actually is that this book is actually based on or inspired by the very real story. You'll see it in the author's notes at the back. I don't know about you, but I quite like stories are loosely inspired by true stories. It just makes it a little bit more interesting. It's not very long. It's about 350 pages. It's a decent book. Like if you're wanting like a starter thriller book, this one would probably not be a bad shout. So this next one I was also really looking forward to because I am a huge John Marrs fan. I love his books. His dystopian fiction books are fantastic. His like thriller books are also fantastic. Although, to be fair, there have been a couple of books that I wasn't overly keen on, but I've read them all and I still like them, but I wasn't like rating them, 5 stars and whatever. But this one, safe to say, this was a 5-star read for me. This one actually came out this year in 2026 in January. So in this book, Damon survives a near-drowning experience. And you know the saying, when life flashes before your very eyes, that is definitely it for Damon. While he's unfortunately drowning, he sees with clarity visions of a dead boy whose face he can't really place. But he's not quite sure if they are actual memories, or if it's repressed memories, or if it's just visions, or if it's just bullshit. After his experience, he unfortunately starts disassociating, he keeps to himself, he pulls away from friends and family, and then he starts getting this crazy idea in his head that for him to find out who the boy is, what actually happened to him, that he has to die over and over and over again. Because obviously any sane person would think the same. And then the perfect opportunity comes along in the form of this stranger who is only all too willing to help him do that very thing. He enlists the help of this stranger, and then also enlists the help of someone very close to him to help him take his own life again and again and again, because he's so desperate for answers and he wants to find out more. For me, one of the best parts about this book was the end of chapter 20 and the beginning of chapter 21. There is a certain character who I absolutely loved, and I don't know what that says about me when you find out who it is. The way my jaw dropped when I read that bit, I just thought, oh my god, this is fantastic. It's a slow burner. So if you start off, say, about, I don't know, up until chapter 20 odd, there's a lot of that build up before it actually starts going. But when it does start going, it fucking gets going. So if you think that this book is going quite slow, I would give it a chance. But then again, I am a huge fan, so I'll read whatever he writes anyway. If you like a slow burner thriller with great twists, great characters, strong villains, twists that will actually make your jaw drop and you think, wow, okay, how? Then this book, this book is for you. I'm not gonna lie though, I did guess one of the twists in this, which never usually happens because I kind of just go with the flow. I want to be shocked, I want to be surprised, I want to be like, oh my god, I didn't, what, how in the world? Like, that's the kind of book that I like. I only guessed one of the twists in this because there were multiple. So these are the 2 thriller books that I read recently. If you've read any of these, let me know in the comments below. If not, will you be reading them or not? And what should I read next? As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.